Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. In this episode I'm co-hosting it with Quinn. He is really quite close to the mic, so if you might hear him every now and then in the background, that is my currently almost 5-month-old kid. Now, last I left you on this planet, there was not really much on it. I'm on the ice planet, and this one is called Lambda Episiom 4. It's an ice-field gelosol, and it has a lot of iron ore, but more importantly, it has silicon ore and titanium ore. What it unfortunately lacks is oil. So I cannot quite build the tech blocks that I need over here. I'm going to have to do that back on the main planet. Lambda Episiom 3, that is. Now, what I do have are quite a few different departments where I build resources. We're currently standing next to the silicon and titanium veins, but I also set up a small iron ore smelter, so I always have some magnets and some iron ingots. We have coal veins being turned into, I always get this wrong, energetic graphite. And the graphite is then required to, where I am over here, make diamonds. Now I can make these on the planet at home as well, but I thought, you know what, I'm not really using it for anything else, why not? Since this planet has quite a bit of silicon available, much easier so than the main planet, I decided to go with a large array of solar panels. Now you can, especially in the map view, see that I have them scattered all over the place, just to try and always have at least some sun. But the solar energy, even in tandem with the rays that I'm receiving from my Dyson sphere, Dyson swarm, it's just not sufficient. Yeah, Quinn, it's just not sufficient. So we're going to need something else. And the answer to that turned out to be this. Now, currently they have no fuel because the graphene storage here is full. But what I did over here was have a chemical plant that turns the fire ice vein into hydrogen and graphene, and that is then turned into power. But as you can see, I just ran out because the storage filled up. So we're gonna have to head up there and fix that issue, because that's kind of what the whole operation here is hinging on. In case you're wondering what this thing is, this is a fractionator. And what this does is take hydrogen, and in, I believe, 99.5% of cases, it extrudes hydrogen as well. In 0.5% of cases, it doesn't. And that's when you get this, deuterium. What I need that for yet, I don't exactly know. So for the moment, it's not like I can do that much with it. But for now, it is just part of something that, well, let's say it's part of the chain, and I might use it later. Now, as I mentioned, there is only so much that I can do on this particular planet. I can get the stuff that I need when it comes to... Where are they? The diamonds? I can make those. I cannot make these, because I don't have the organic crystals. For that, we're going to have to head back to the main planet, Lambda Episiom 3. And what I'm taking home with me is a lot of titanium. All of these are titanium ingots. I'm also bringing home a lot of crystal silicon. And the plan is to turn all of those resources together into these things, the structure matrix. I only need 120 of those to get the Interstellar Logistics system. And that is then going to allow me to set up the Interstellar Logistics platform between both this planet, so I can import/export titanium, and the other part, so that the main world, if you will, is also going to get that particular resource. So then this planet is going to turn into some, let's say, massive hub of just resources that get shipped to the main planet. It's not much more spectacular than that, it's just a way of shipping stuff. Now, because I might not be back here for a while, I'm going to make sure that I get a few more storages here set up. And the reason for doing that is so that I will have a ton of graphene stored by the time that I get back. But maybe more importantly, the hydrogen generators can keep going. Because these hydrogen gens or rather these thermal gens, do require hydrogen in order to work. Yes, there is coal, but I found that this is just generally easier to get. And since there is still 1.2 million ton of fire ice vein, and really not that much coal, this is the solution that we have right now. So, Quinn is a bit bored with this game. Right now it is time to head back into space and fly all the way back. Back to the planet. And I'm gonna have to do that at least one more time before I'm able to set up my my interstellar research. My interstellar transport network, in fact. So, yeah, Quinn, I know, it's... Calm down, buddy. It's tedious, but we'll get there. So, I won't bore you with the flight again. We're gonna go back to the planet, back to the Lambda 3, and set up the processors. Welcome back to Lambda... what do we call it here? Lambda Episiom 3. In this part, I have already constructed a lab that is now building the structure matrix. Now that's the good news. The bad news is the structure matrix lab is over there. The research labs are over here, and they all need the resources to build the stuff that I want them to build. So, for that matter, I'm going to have to provide them with yet another conveyor belt. There has to be yet another resource. Now, what I could do is just build a conveyor belt all the way from there to here, but I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to take the conveyor belt that I already have, or rather, part of the conveyor belt. And with a part of it, we're going to go over the iron ore vein, which can always come in handy later. And I'm going to try and make my way throughout this maze of existing conveyor belts to... Can I get there? Nope, that was not long enough. I'm going to get to my interplanetary logistics matrix thing. That thing over there, the huge tower. That's where we're headed. And the reason why I want to get there is because I'm going to set up another of the interplanetary matrices on logistics hubs. You know, that thing. I want to set another one of those up on the other side, so that I can easily deliver this stuff very close to the labs, instead of having to build another conveyor belt, which transits a majority, if not the entirety of the planet. And, well, it's just going to be a bit of a hassle. So this should do it. Unfortunately, my core energy is now depleted. So let me build up... Well, of course, I can't build anything at the moment. I have 2 Tesla towers over here where I can charge. Let's do that. Charge up for a little bit. And get the production ready. Yep, there's another Tesla tower coming up. And there we go. Meanwhile, the bots are still working. And I think I still need an exfil point. And of course, there are still quite a few of these conveyor belts that still need to get built. Alright, let's move over there. Assist with the building process. Because there we go. The energy matrices are already being... Oh, sorry, the structure matrices are already being produced. English. So that's conveyor belt there. Now this thing is going to go... Look at this maze of belts. I still more or less know where everything goes. To give you a very, very quick rundown as these matrices are moving, we have 3 plastics labs over here. The plastic labs are moving over to here. And this is where I have a chemical plant. The chemical plant is providing, or is provided with plastics and refined oil and water. And those things combined make the eventual product that is... This one does not appear to be working. Why not? Because you are getting oil. Do you not have room for output? Oh, you do. That's curious then. Oh, there's 1 item of hydrogen on there. That's the problem. That's then getting turned into the organic crystal. This is the part that I could not build on the other planet because I had no oil. Then the ingots that I brought over, the titanium ingots, are being produced from this storage here. Combine those with the... what do we have here? Yeah, combine those with the organic crystals. Titanium ingots produce titanium crystals. Those then get combined with the smelters that turn graphite. I'll get this right eventually. Yes, graphite into diamonds. Combine all that, and you get the energy. All these different terms. You get the structure matrix. So what we have now is a decent amount being produced. Still not nearly enough of what I need, but it's a start. And as you can see, it's already starting to pile up over here at the Planetary Logistics Station. So what I'm going to do is grab some of the resources from this belt here, so that I can chuck that into the combustion chamber and get some more energy back, because I need to do a bit of flying. I have to fly back over to the other side of the planet. To here. Hold. Whoops. Skipped off the ocean there. Here. Because over here I'm going to set up another one of the planetary logistics stations. This is where the drones will drop off the resources that I have collected. So we're going to do it like this. I'm going to say I want filter 1. Filter 1 is going to be the resource that this thing will collect. So I'm going to say empty slot. I want the structure matrix and I want this to be a demand. And now I have to, and I forgot about that, I have to go to the other station and actually tell that it's going to be providing. That's the supplier. So this thing, empty slot, you are a supplier. And there we go. It already has 2 in storage, and it should have a few in transit. I don't have any of my drones here. What are my drones up to then? Because I have a ton of my solar cells stored. Where are my drones at? Because I doubt that they're all the way back here. Yeah, they're not there. They're not in transit. Did they crash? I don't believe so. Anyway, let's build a few. And once I have one of those provided, this thing is going to pick up, I think, about 10. Yeah, I just chucked it in and it's immediately... Ah, there goes one. There we go. So maybe the other drones are also on the way. Yeah, there they go. They're just coming back. Whoops. They're coming back out of the other logistics station. So it seems like, yep, we have 25 in transit. Now, once they're coming out of the transit, so once the drones land, here comes the first one, we're going to have the resources that we need to do the next tier of research. I'm going to chuck in some of the resources that I still have, I think. No, I don't have any of them left. Here we go. There's the belt. Now all that we need is to get these things fed into the labs. 1, 2. And yes, provide them with power, of course. And there we go. We are getting research done. Now initially it doesn't take that much of the structure matrix, fortunately. I'm building the high strength titanium alloy, which is one of the prerequisites to building the interstellar logistics system. This only takes 80. It's going to get progressively worse from here. The structure matrix that we need for here is 200. And the vertical silo is going to be 1600. So I'm going to need a lot more stuff. Alright, once the research is done, I'm going to do the other part as well. And I'll be back with you when I have the research required for the interstellar logistics system. Welcome back. After a whole bunch of research and some interplanetary trips, I have been able to acquire the technology that's going to allow me to ship stuff interstellar. It's the Interstellar Logistics System, and it unlocks the Interstellar Logistics Station and the accompanying transports. Now, these transports are significantly larger than the transport drones that I was using on the planet, and they're able to ship stuff from one planet to the next. Now, this is the Planetary Logistics Station. So this is just the one that goes from planets, let's say intra-planet, so transporting stuff from one part of the planet to another. over there is its bigger brother. And that, right there, and you can just see the size of it, that is the Interstellar Logistics Station. Now, I have set up one of these on, of course, the planet that I'm looking at, which is Lambda Episiom 3. And I have also set one up on Lambda Episiom 4. And you can actually see on the map that there are transports moving back and forth between the two planets. In fact, there are transports moving towards the other planet as well, because I had a brief visit on Lambda Episiom 1, which is a lava planet, and there too I have set up a small, really small infrastructure network that provides me with a bit more titanium. Now, what then happens to the titanium that comes out of the interstellar network? It's gonna get distributed in a few different directions. Over here, we have a storage capability of 10,000 titanium ingots. That's what gets shipped in. In case you're wondering about my settings, I'm using local supply and remote demand. I don't really find these terms to be very easy to understand. Because sure, I'm supplying locally, but wouldn't that mean that I have a remote supply? Because I'm not supplying it from here, but I'm supplying it remotely? No. Apparently, remote demand means that you're demanding it from somewhere else. So the drones that I have over here, these in logistics vessels, they're moving towards other planets to pick up stuff that have it set to, I think, different settings, local supply and remote supply. Anyway, what's happening here is that we have the titanium ingots come out this side, where they meet up with a bunch of smelters, which are also getting fed steel and sulfuric acid, and when they are done, those things produce titanium ingots. Oh, sorry, titanium alloys, which is another upgrade to titanium. So it starts as titanium ore, then gets transformed into titanium ingots, and those then get transformed into titanium alloys. Those were the resources that are required to build both the logistics vessels and, at large, the planetary network, or the interstellar logistic network. Well, the planetary network as well. Although, no, sorry, they require only titanium ingots, not the alloys, not the upgraded variant. Now, from this side, we also have another one that takes titanium ingots. Following the conveyor belt, we can see that they get distributed here. And this is where the titanium ingots, in combination with organic crystals, get transformed into titanium crystals. Those titanium crystals are half of what is required over here in the matrix labs. And these things produce titanium crystals, or rather combine titanium crystals and diamonds, and turn those into structure matrices. The structure matrices, and I think already shown this off, then follow the belt and go over to the planetary logistics network, so the local one, where they get collected and then shipped out using logistics drones to the logistics or to the research labs, which are over here. So this is where it all combines. Now, through a whole bunch of research, I can now stack these things, I think 5 tall. I believe that's about as tall as they'll go, but let's see if I can add yet another one. But I have one bottleneck right now, and that's that I'm not really producing enough of these organic crystals. And that's why some of these things aren't producing as much as they could, because they simply don't have enough of these. Now, the organic crystals get produced across the, let's say, the main beltway where I'm providing crude oil. And, well, I could still add more of these, because it takes quite a while for these things to get built. So I'm probably going to add a few more of these chemical plants, and then make sure that I have more of these, so I can research even faster. When it comes to research, I have progressed quite far. Oh wow, I can add another stack. Okay. I've progressed quite far. I have the Interstellar Logistic Network, obviously. I have interstellar power transmission. Using the energy exchanger, the surplus electric energy in the grid can be made into a full accumulator, transported to another planet, and then released through the energy exchanger. Realize the transportation of electricity between planets. So if you have one planet that has too much power and another one that has too little, you can set one of these energy exchangers up on either planet and they just start sharing power. Also required, or also researched, high-strength lightweight structures, which give me frame materials and Dyson sphere components. So yes, we're actually getting quite close to being able to build parts of the Dyson sphere. Well, I say that, but it's not entirely accurate. I can build the frame materials, or so I thought, because for that, as it turned out, I also needed a high-strength material. Once you research this, you're able to build carbon nanotubes, which get built from graphene and titanium ingots, and then in 4 seconds you produce a carbon nanotube. Those things can also be done with an advanced recipe, which requires the spiniform stalagmite crystal. I haven't found those yet, so I'm just going to be using the standard way of building these things. Once I have those, I'm then able to build these, the frame materials, and that's all good and fancy. Then you have them, but now you need to ship them. So for that, we're going to be needing the vertical launching silo. These things allow you to send the stuff that you have produced over here, the frameworks and the nodes, over to the actual Dyson sphere to commence construction. Use small carrier rocket to launch the Dyson sphere components to form the Dyson sphere frames and nodes. Cool, but there's another bit of research required. It's the information matrix. The information matrix is, where did I put it? I might have already researched it. Here, no, I haven't researched it yet. This thing allows you to build the information matrix, and it also requires some sort of tubing shit. That's this stuff. Particle broadband. So we're switching from, from the dial-up modems to the broadband at this point. And we're going to be needing, again, the high-strength material research. So the carbon nanotubes, followed by, what else do you require? Crystals, silicon crystals, and plastic. And then you can build those things, which then get turned into these. That is, if you also provide them with a processor. Once I have that, then I can start building the vertical launch silos and the accompanying small carrier rockets to start delivery to the actual Dyson sphere. So we have we have some work ahead of us, and that's not even all the research that I'll probably need. So plenty more to do. I'm going to be doing a bit of it off screen, as you can imagine, because while this is episode 6 and the episodes are about 30 minutes each, the game already has 18 hours in it. So I'm about 30% showing you, or I'm showing you about 30% of what is actually happening as I'm building this whole thing. Hope you guys are still enjoying the playthrough. If you are, then please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back in a few days with more parts for the Dyson sphere. Catch you then.